Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to go through troubleshooting of a Crusader 454 Marine application. I won't go from the beginning. I had fouled plugs and it wouldn't run. So from the beginning of this video to the end, you'll see what I did. Essentially, we changed the first I thought it was a distributor coil issue because it wouldn't start. And we troubleshot it, and actually the plugs were so fouled, and only after a few hours that we changed the plugs and I got it to run. And it just started and everything, I thought everything was good. And then we took it out and they fouled again. So we were running really rich. The timing was way off. A lot of issues. You know, I thought at one point we were going to change the motors, but because they were just so bad. But then if you look on here, you'll see first I started with a compression test. Compression test turned out okay. And so then we thought, well, it must be coming from the carburetor getting too rich, because then I thought I was getting a leak in the intake. That didn't happen. Everything we did, just this motor seemed normal, except the carburetor, you know, and then the carburetors wouldn't adjust. So we rebuilt the thermoquads, and it was easy. Put them back in, and that made it a little better, but still they were fouling. The plugs were fouling. So then we decided we were going to go with DEI distributors, and you'll see in here whenever we went with the DEI distributors, made a vast improvement. New wires, cleaned the plugs, and then I got a vacuum gauge on there, and you'll see in here the beginning of the vacuum, how I could not get any more vacuum until I changed the distributor, and then all of a sudden I got really good vacuum. So with this port engine, and I've done the similar, I'm still working on the starboard, but this port engine, I got this to where, in my opinion, it's about as normal as it's going to get. So I'm hoping for really good results. And another thing we did too was we cleaned this out with sea foam and stuff, and I'm going to still continue to do it. I think it was the problem line is these 454s are run at low RPM out for many years and just build up a ton of carbon. And you know, the old adage, blowing the carbon out, was never done on these motors. So I'm going to get the other motor. We're going to get it running as good as this one, and then we're going to go out and test them out. For my opinion, these motors are running as good as they can, and hopefully last many more years. For history, they have about less than 1,000 hours on them, so they just were not cared for, and now they are. Thanks.
And now we got the distributor, I got the nut, everything loose off of that, so we're going to lift this right off of that. And I've got the coil wire and the hot wire all off of there. So there we are. Voila. We'll put this over here and we'll check all the other stuff and swap some wires out. All right, so now we have to splice these 3 wires. One is from the ignition switch, one is from the starter relay, and that's going to be our hot side. And then this one over here is our negative. That'll go to the negative side of the, you know, actually the one's attacked. So we'll hook those wires up, and they will go to our pigtail, wherever it went. Here's the pigtail. They're going to go to here, our pigtail. And the red wire will be hot, and the green wire will go to negative. And that is very similar to this side over here, which is just like that, and it seems to work, so that's what we're going to do.
Give me 2,000 R's.
Okay, now try.
There's a rope.
Go ahead. All right, bring it down to idle. He's running way better. I'm happy with that. And put it in gear. Okay. What's the RPMs? 900? Alright, here's a 454 port engine. New DUI distributor does not make a noise. I readjusted the timing to about, I put it at about 14. And I got a little more vacuum. It's getting better. I'm in the green. I'm happy with that. The RPM right now are about 700 to 750. In here, about 650. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Got good throttle response. Looking pretty good, so I'm happy with this motor. I'll leave it like this for a while. On to the other one.
In closing, I want to thank everyone for watching my video. This is, unfortunately, the quality is not the best. This is my first video, and I wanted to just at least have some FaceTime. I hope to have better videos in the future. This 454 was a lot of troubleshooting. I hope this helps you not have so many problems. This had carbon blowing out of it. When I first got it, it wasn't running correctly. I changed the plugs thinking it would help. Adjusted the timing thinking it would help. None of those things seemed to help. Then checked compression. Compression was good. So I was wondering, why are these plugs fouling after only a few hours? And it was running rich. It was all carbon foul. This classic example of 454 not running the way it should, and running it idle for long periods of time and not blowing out all that carbon. So to attack it, we went after the carburetor, thinking, well, maybe I'm getting too much fuel or something's going on there, because we were getting fuel residue and carbon out the back, and you could smell fuel in the exhaust, but the carbon on initial startup would blow out every time. So we got seafoam, clean that out, clean the carbs, change the plugs. All that everything incremental helps, but not holy cow. And then I said, well, when we get done with this, maybe we can try distributors. So we went through Summit Auto Racing and got the DUI distributors. They came in, put those in, got a vacuum gauge. Vacuum gauge is incremental in doing this. You must have a vacuum gauge. I mean, it's unless your ears are really good, it helps better than timing or anything. So once we got the new distributors, we put them in. With now the carburetors were rebuilt, new plugs, compression's good. Tried to clean out some of the carbon with seafoam. All that has already been done. And the next thing was put the distributors on, hooked all those up. They were relatively easy to hook up. And then we got the plugs. We had to regap them to about 45 thousandths and adjust the timing. I think it was like 14 or 15 degrees. And all these things that help in the vacuum gauge. If you look at those videos back, you'll see previous, I could not get vacuum. Good vacuum is supposed to have minimum of 18 to 21. And I could not get that before the distributor. Once the distributor was in and all these things seemed to be burning better, adjusted the idles down, everything in the timing, and it seems to be running really good. Now I have the port engine done. The starboard is close to being done. I have to clean it out more. I think there's more carbon in it.
And once we get that done, we're going to adjust the timing, get it running. And these 454 should be good another, who knows? They're right around 1,000 hours. They might go several thousand, who knows? They're good motors, no sense in changing them. And right now, I think they're running as good as they can. If you all have any questions on this video, please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions. Hopefully I can help you and answer and direct you to where you can learn more about it. So thank you again, and enjoy.